Hello everyone and welcome to the Talladega Superspeedway for the running of the Stand Up to Cancer 500 at Talladega. With just 4 races left until we crown our Sundrop Cup Series champion, these 39 Cup Series drivers take to the biggest track, the biggest oval track on the schedule, getting the fastest speeds down through the corners of over 200 miles an hour, ready to take on the terrifying Talladega Superspeedway. Diego Yepes starts on pole, but Brady Burkhardt qualified his car on pole. After finding an illegal engine component in the 99 car, he failed inspection. He now sits 39th. They removed that. They passed inspection the second time through, and now the 99 team will be able to continue on into this event. But Diego Yepes up front, and alongside him is now Dusty Neal, who would have started out on the inside. He gets second, and look at that with him. His teammate Matthew Eves in fourth, and the team boss, Tib Foster, in sixth. Larry Hagan, of course, you see the pink out schemes. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. But Larry Hagan doing the same thing he did 3 years ago in the Truck Series, driving for SSC Automotive. He is driving for the Prostate Cancer Awareness with the light blue colored ribbon on that 21 car. So it's still supporting a good cause, but this time he rolls off in the 3rd position. Jay Jefferson rolls off 5th after he came up just so close to winning the Talladega race of the Truck Series. If it was 1 lap earlier, he might have won it, but Bright and Spurlitube, his drivers jumped to the inside, fought it amongst themselves. JJ still came home with a solid top 5 finish. Brandon Morris is looking to bring a very strong 55 car this weekend here at Talladega. We'll see if this team can get themselves into victory lane. They have very fast speeds in the BGM car. Peter Onjek is your points leader in both Truck and Cup. In the Truck Series, he's now only 17 points up on Jay Jefferson. In the Cup Series, he's 26 points up on Jay Jefferson currently as they run. We'll see if the pink Menards car can get into victory lane. Gatlin Downey up here, Jacob Edson, Cody Goforth. Look at Scott Roush, a great qualifying performance for them. 16th quickest for Ditech. In the truck race, he blew up 5 laps in. DJ Curtis, Eli Bright back there. Bright almost won this race yesterday. Stephen Wallace Jr., GDI, a top 20 run for both of them. Matty Porta, Austin Murray, Carter Friesen, all with horrible qualifying efforts. All of them outside of the top 20. Carter Friesen being the furthest back driver, starting their race in the 28th position. Brady Burkhardt, of course, starting last, but he did qualify up front. There is your race winner from yesterday, Riley Spurlitube in the Evernham 79, trying to go back-to-back and sweep this weekend's Talladega events. It's going to be very hard to do so in an underpowered 79. Antoine Smith in the 63 this weekend. Joseph Sergles in the 33. Casey Mears in the 07. Bobo Jones in the 51. Luke Evans in the 42. Mac Johnson in the 95. Lotus this Burrito back in the 24. There you see the 93 is Alex Peters. The 36, Archibald Buttersworth, trying to repeat what he did at Daytona by almost winning this dang thing. And Adam Mitchell for Sauber Racing Team this weekend. That's some of your backmarker drivers with the multiple drivers in the car. Brady Burkhardt rolling off 39th. He's going to have a big run here if he wants to try to go to victory lane. It's going to be a 66 lap event here at Talladega, a long one ahead of us. Will the engines last? Will the drivers last? Will the pack last? We'll see that and more here as we get ready to go racing at the Stand Up to Cancer 500 at Talladega.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the engines are fired. We're ready to go racing here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Yepes and Neal, your front row. In row 2, Larry Hagan, Matthew Eves, Jay Jefferson, Tib Foster, Brandon Morris, Colton Lane, Peter Onjak, Carson Bowers, your top 10. The rest of the field cycling on by here. We got an exciting race ahead of us. 66 laps is going to be a long one. These cars race much more like the trucks than they do the Mountain Dew Custom Series cars. So we'll see. The fans enjoyed the event yesterday. A very clean event, really. 2 incidents, a couple spins, but nothing major, and that's the great thing about it. Hoping that today will be the same thing. We got a couple drivers of importance here in this race. Matthew Eves, a Talladega winner in this event. Diego Yepes, Matthew Eves, both are Talladega fall winners in the Truck Series. Matthew Eves won this race 2 years ago. Yepes, I'm pretty sure, won the inaugural event here in that number 77 truck. I know Yepes does have a win here, but looking at the super speedways, Tib Foster's won both of them this season at Daytona. He swept Daytona. He's looking to do the three-peat and win at Talladega. If he does, I believe he'll be the first driver to win both a points-paying race at Daytona and Talladega in his career. So Foster really starting to be a super speedway ace along with a road course ace. He is a championship contender this season as well. 38 points back. He's in the 5th position in the standings. He still needs a good run out of this one today. And if you're looking at the point standings, 38 points is not that far back because the only driver that's that far ahead of him is Peter Onjak. Jay Jefferson in second is only 12 points ahead of Foster. And if you take Onjak out of the equation, second to 7th and even 8th, Larry Hagan and Cody Goforth, they would be in a race of second place in the point standings. It's just thought that Onjak has been way too good in the chase as it's kicked up. You got 5 chasers lined up on the inside, 2 on the outside with a couple others in there as well. Some strong drivers though. Yepes and Neal leading us down. They're waiting for the starter to wave the green flag. 66 laps at the Stand Up to Cancer 500 is green. We are racing at the Talladega Superspeedway. Fairly orderly start there here at Talladega. Out in front, single file, 2x2 a bit further back. Hagan was looking for a move to the inside of Yepes. Yepes closes the door heading into 3 and 4, but Hagan stays right up, tucked in behind. Foster's gotten down to the inside, leaving the CFRO guys up top, but now Hagan trying to catch and pass Yepes. These cars are going to race a bit more calmly, I think, than the Mountain Dew Custom Series race, which was 3 wide all over the place. The Truck Series was a lot more, taking their time, single file racing, and that might just come down to the package. It might also come down to the experience. These guys have been here at Talladega many a time. They know what they got to do. They got to keep the cars clean. They got to keep their noses clean, and they got to work their way through the pack and be up in front as this race goes on. So they know not to push too hard. They just need to make their way towards the front as they can. Colton Lane now going to move right to the bottom of 2 chase contenders, Morris and Foster. Hagan now in that middle line. Dusty Neal there as well. Jay Jefferson trying to push him. Edson now getting pushed up by Cody Goforth as the pack comes off of the corner. A very big gap. All 39 cars still together, at least, as we come around. Yepes and Morris is going to be a BGM 1-2 as they go across the line here to complete lap number 2. That second pack already looks like the second group starting to split off. Curtis and DeLello kind of holding that front pack and this second little pack together. And then you go back to not John Dilks, Bobo Jones and them. They are pretty far already, too wide and losing a bit of time. There's Burkhart in the 99. He's already picked up, it looks like about 10 spots right off the bat. Now looking for another spot on Bobo Jones here. And Burkhart, if there's any track you want to fail inspection at, it is Daytona or Talladega, because you can work your way up through the field if you got a fast enough car. And especially he does, even though he got the pole with an illegal component, he still is bad fast. And they do have to pass inspection to make the race. So the 99 team did pass it on the second time through. They just got to make sure that they can continue on in this race. Now Antoine Smith a bit slow up there. That's going to force Burkhart high. Will that lose him from the front draft already? He's got to deal with all these slower cars in front of him, and it just might. Man, Antoine really lost time there in that 63 car coming through turn number 1. Now Burkhart forced on the outside. Not too happy now with his teammate. It's a JSR car, but it is an SBR driver. Now he has Nicky Morris with them. And now this second pack, they better really hurry up and hustle because they are losing time to that front group already. And that's not what Burkhart needs in his chase run to lose the draft on lap number 4. Up in front, though, Morris all over the back of Yepes, staying tucked in right behind Colton Lane in the 05, trying to make that move as well. Looks like he's going to get to the bottom finally for that second spot. Matthew Eves to the inside. He's up to 4th. Onjak 5th. There's Edson in the 82, fighting inside the top 10. Look at DJ Gibson. Kev Shearer also up here. So those guys running well. And now Antoine's got to try to lead this second group back up to this front pack. I think you can. I mean, again, the Cup cars are just a little bit slower than the trucks. And you see 206 to 203. That's going to be gaining at least a little bit, so they might be able to get back into the draft. This 63 car, the most powerful car on JSR, has not ran well that often this season because Joseph Strigley's been driving it, and Strigley's mainly a road course ringer. But with Antoine Smith in there, even Aiden Smith, you've had a lot more drivers running this 63 car, and it's ran very decently, let's just say that, in these Cup races. Now Burkhardt all over the back of the 63. That's probably what's really pushing it, is someone's blowing up. It's Kev Shearer in the 30, and that's going to be big. SBR's team now. That's the first engine gone for Toyota, and they had a lot of them gone last season. Now DeLello is going to have to try to lead this second pack back up to the first one, as they're now separated by a pretty large margin. Up in front, they're single file, but now a smaller pack can work better than a bigger one here at Talladega. We'll see if that second group can indeed catch up. You got a lot of strong drivers in that. Burkhardt, Foster, Porta, Murray, Bright, Cloud, Kukulon, they're all back there now, stuck in this. Carson Bowers and Scott Roush as well. So if they can work together, they might be able to catch up, or at least a few of them might be able to catch up. We'll see how they do, if they can, here at this event. But it's BGM out in front. Yepes has led all 7 laps so far, and Morris has been doing a great job defending that second position for him. The 30 car did indeed have an engine failure. It's now Morris, just as we said, it's been a BGM front too, and Yepes has been dominating. Here comes the 55 to the inside. It might not be the SBR plate program. It might just be the Toyota plate program in the Cup Series. But here comes Onjak and Neal. That's 2 Dodges right there working nose to tail on that inside line to push past Morris. Now Onjak forced up as Neal looks to the inside. This front pack, this would be a pretty interesting front pack to fight to the end. You got Curtis, Butcher, Downey, and Gibson all in that still as they're running. But you do have Tib Foster now going to the point of this second pack with a couple chase contenders, Zachary DeLello, Logan Cloud, Stephen Wallace Jr. I think they'll be able to catch back up to that front group, which might be different because in the truck series, with the amount of the equipment changes, you know, it's been 4 years that they've been able to work and tweak these cars and put upgrades onto these cars. Really, it might be because these cars are closer in skill and in speed and in, you know, power. They might be able to catch up much easier. And you see that second pack really kind of being a bit more single file. Foster trying to take any draft he can as he's pulling away from this group because they're now fighting 3 wide with Cloud, Stephen Wallace Jr., Austin Murray, Matty Porta, and the rest. But we'll see if they can catch up. Morris is your race leader, though, in that number 55 as Foster has now caught that draft to that front pack. They're 3 wide behind him. And now you got Jacob Edson in the 82 moving that car into the 4th position. And the rest of the pack still trying to just hang on together. No one really losing the draft. It's just a separation between the packs currently with the 30 on pit road as they're trying to get that car back out for him to finish. Remember, you got at the super speedways, the minimum speed is very much slower than normal. At the 1.5 mile ovals, it's 20 or even 25 miles per hour off the pace. At the super speedways, it's only about 15 miles per hour off the pace. These guys are hitting about 205, so again, that'll be about 190 for minimum speed. However, if you are running on your own, you should only be down about 10 miles per hour unless you have a major issue in that car. But up in front, single file all the way back. Now Cloud, Porta, Murray have caught back up. That's going to bring more back up as Dusty Neal's going to make a charge to the bottom. Here comes the 94, and he's going to bring a whole group with him. And Butcher's going to leave Edson out to dry. That's not how the Toyota should be working, but maybe Butcher's trying to say, okay, Edson, go up and help the BGM Morris there in that 55 car. Jefferson Onjak now, they're going back at it. Now Yepes is going to throw a major block to Jefferson. Jay does not care. He's going to force it 4 wide, and he's going to tell Diego he's not having any of that today. 3 Toyotas on the outside, Jefferson on the inside. Now does Jay have enough to hang on there as Yepes and Butcher pushing on each other. Edson now dropping back on the outside, and Jefferson gets the push from the Dodges on the inside, lining up against the Toyotas on the outside as they go around this super speedway. Middle portion of this pack starting to get a bit single-filed out, or at least trying to. It looks like Mears is going to be the one left to dry, but that is a nice train, and these guys are smart. Get back single file. You're faster if you're in a single file line because you're using all that draft to its fullest potential, and you can catch right back up. So that's allowing these guys to catch back up. Buttersworth, Disparito, Mac Johnson, Adam Mitchell, and Strigley, really. Luke Evans, they have not been up front. Scott Roush has dropped right to the back after qualifying. Maybe they're trying to ride it out, or maybe the car is just that slow right now. But it looks like this front pack has formed back up altogether. Jay Jefferson looking for the second spot with those Dodges still on the inside. Look at Cody Goforth in the unsponsored 27. He's right up here inside the top 10. Let's see if we can get an unsponsored car to victory lane. And if you do notice, the 30 team has retired from the event, a camshaft failure on that. You see that second pack, the second group back there staying all single file. The slower cars trying not to lose the draft of the front guys this early. 12 of 66 complete. Colton Lane is your race leader in the Monster Motorsports number 05 Chevrolet. Gatlin Downey up front. Now Jefferson looking to that inside line. And now Downey's going to be shoved out by Cody Goforth, but that's going to be Jefferson with the run on the bottom. He's going to get pushed to the race lead. That's a bonus point. Now he wants to make sure Onjak doesn't get a bonus point because Jefferson needs everything he can in this chase to try to catch up. Really, everyone does. It's going to be short of a miracle for this 44. You know, he's just going to have to DNF. That's all we can say. Even finishing like 24th, 25th might not even be enough. He needs to DNF a race in the chase for this to change. This is going to be sketchy. Yepes and Morris bouncing off of each other. Eves tried to make it. It looked like 4 wide, but Yepes and Morris were able to get by Goforth. And that was real close between these front guys. That could have been a big one here at Talladega. But you see the whole front pack basically back together as we race here at Talladega. Jay Jefferson, Colton Lane, Peter Onjak, Diego Yepes, Gatlin down to your top 5. We'll go to commercial break. Bring guys back to the action here at Talladega right after this. Back live here at Talladega. We're on board with Larry Hagan as he's dropping back on the outside line, but working the draft. You can see how much it's going to be changing. You see these guys making those lines, and you see that outside line. It's not very noticeable, but it can pull down the back. And you saw yesterday, Jay Jefferson made a very big move on the outside line out of turn number 2 to get himself into position to possibly win that race. He did, of course, come up just short with the top 5. Morris has taken the lead. Goforth moving into second, Jefferson third. The rest of this pack just still right together and all racing hard here at Talladega. It looks like, though, it's starting to kind of splinter. Not splinter as in everyone falling off the pace, but just getting single-filed out more. But you do see Adam Mitchell and the 36 of Archibald Buttersworth have both now lost the draft in that. And you see he's only running 196. He was running 198 peak speed, so that's only 7 miles per hour slower. That's why, you know, it's only 15 miles per hour off the pace. That'd be 2 times as slow as a single car driving on their own, meaning you definitely have an issue. Matthew Eves now looking for second on Cody Goforth. Jefferson Lane starting to fall into the clutches of the pack now. But Matthew Eves in this 47, let's see if he can go back to victory lane in that car. Gatlin Downey. Give Downey a shout-out. Give GDI really a shout-out as they are going. Oh, man, I thought Bowers was going to force him 4 wide back there. Okay, Alex Peters, 26th across the line there. So it's a top 25 breakaway with this second pack just trying to stay together. That includes Kukulon, Eli Bright, Bobo Jones, Scott Roush, Riley Spurley-Tube, Luke Evans, DJ Gibson, Strigley, Mac Johnson, Disparito with the 2 slower cars at the back. They're not impossibly back, but they are pretty far back. And also, man, Morris now sit and duck out there. He's gotten out to maybe 4 or 5 car lengths there in that 55. He's going to have a run mounted against him. But this pack, happy to see they're still together 18 laps into this one. Again, this is just like in the Cup. No, 1 car blown up. It's Dusty Neal in the 94. And that is going to be championship over for Dusty Neal. Entered this race 56 points back, and the 94 car is going to give out on him. An engine failure in the 94, and his day is done. And that's going to break up the pack just a little bit more. That brings Adam Mitchell back into this. And it looks like it only holds up Nicky Morris, Casey Mears, Carter Friesen. So Friesen, 99 points back entering this race. Probably will not continue. Okay, Eli Bright, Bobo Jones back there. DeLello's now lost the front draft, but it's still a pretty sizable front pack with most of the competitive cars that have been running up here. But that is heartbreaking to see for Dusty Neal. That is your first championship contender out of this race with mechanical failure. 20 of 66 complete. We're still Not even a third of the way through this. Lap 22 will be 1/3 of the way through this event, so it's going to be a long one. The fans are enjoying it. Now out in front, though, starting to get single file, starting to just kind of hang together, and look at who we see. Yepes going for the race lead, though. Larry Hagan not going to even go with Eves. He wants the third position all to himself. But Burkhart from 39th, he's now up into 7th with the move on Cody Goforth. Here comes SBR's 99 charging to the front of the field, trying to get himself back into the championship fight. 49 points back, has to finish ahead of Onjak, really, to get back into one race. And now he's side by side with Peter, looking to go from last to first. Will he get the last to first challenge done today here for SBR? 3 wide for that 4th position with Edson and Eves. Looking at the rest of this front pack, you got a good few underdogs in here, really. Ryan Butcher, Gatlin Downey, both GDI cars are still in this top group. There you see Downey in 10th, Stephen Wallace Jr. a bit further back. You also got Logan Cloud, Carson Bowers, Colton Lane even could win this. But we do have Cody Goforth, a winless and a top 5-less driver in the chase this year. He's not going to win the title. He's 67 points back. He'd have to come out of nowhere with skill in these next 3 races, including this one here at Talladega, to win the title. But Cody Goforth is an underdog. He is a chase contender, and he is probably the biggest underdog in the field. He is 6th right now, trying to get his first top 5 on the season. And Larry Hagan now in the 21 is going to get himself to the point, but will Burkhart go? Onjak now looking to the bottom. And you got a very sizable front pack. It's 19 cars in this front pack still fighting. We had 10 to decide it at the end. Burkhart and Yepes making some contact there. Burkhart sideways across the bumper of the 44. And that almost just took out the entire chase field if Burkhart was turned back up across the track. And man, we just dodged a bullet there heading into turn 3. Burkhart almost from 39th to 2nd and turned across the field, which would have taken out this entire competitive front pack. Probably everyone except Hagan, let's be real. But Yepes now on the outside. He's dropping back. You got underdogs. Gatlin Downey in 4th. Cody Goforth in 6th. Neither of them have won a National Series race. As Burkhart is going to get the push to the race lead from Onjak. Downey's going to stay with him. Foster goes with him. So now Burkhart will go from last to first and will lead after 23 laps here at Talladega from 39th to the race lead as they run around here. But you got Goforth and Downey, never won a National Series competition. You got Colton Lane, who almost just took out Butcher. Butcher, who has not won in multiple years. Eves, who has not won in multiple years. Stephen Wallace Jr., who has not won in multiple years. Even Austin Murray, he has not ran as good as P2M did last year in the trucks, or as he did himself in the trucks. Winless in both trucks and cup. You got DJ Curtis and Logan Cloud, who at this point for Monster are both underdogs just to finish the race. And you also got Jacob Edson, who hasn't won in years, and Carson Bowers, who has come up so close this season, but just not able to get there. So you got a lot of chase contenders up here, but you got a lot of underdogs that could still spoil the party if they could get themselves to the front. But now it's the PA boys, Burkhart and Morris leading the field. Matty Porta out of nowhere into 3rd. This is what he needs to do to try to get a shot at the title again. He's 111 points back entering this race. If he loses any more to Onjak, he's mathematically eliminated. So really, if Peter doesn't finish 37th in this race and Porta wins, Porta's out. But he's still doing the best he can. Cody Goforth now looking for that 3rd position. Hagan pushing him. All 20 cars still together. They're still trying to make stuff work, using the draft, using what they can. But it looks like this front group's kind of gotten a little more spread out, a little more calm. You see up in front, really, they're staying single file. You got Downey and Foster out, but only a few cars were looking to the outside. They fan out down the front straightaway, though, as Morris is going to get the run to the inside of Burkhart. Side by side for this race lead. Who's going to lead across the line? 55 will just edge him out. But now you're seeing maybe these drivers are starting to practice those moves. You saw Morris, he did it off of turn number 4 to the line. and just edged him out. And maybe now that's in the memory bank. We can make this move. If you get the run off of 4, you can dive to the inside and take the lead, and you have enough time to take that win. It was decided on 2 last lap passes in the truck race. We'll see how many we have in the cup race here today, as they now go 3 wide and a big pack formed right behind this. Another car out of this one. That is Riley Spurley, tubing the 79. A header issue on that. Francois Chastain just coming out of turn number 3, turn number 2 right there. Adam Mitchell just ahead. And now you got a pack of cars there. Gibson, Roush, Mac Johnson, Strigley, and Disparito just a bit further back. They're trying to hang on with the draft. They can. They're still running faster. They're running 2:03, so they're still running competitive lap times that they might not be caught by that front group. And then you got this group back here, which has one important driver, Carter Friesen. They are pretty much done from the chase contention now, especially if nothing else happens to that front pack. You got Eli Bright back there, Sebastian Kukulon, Zachary DeLello, who lost the draft, and he's now back in that. So some competitive cars here. If they were able to line up, I don't think they'd be able to catch up, but they could be running 205, 206 like the race leaders are. As we go around here, 27 of 66 complete. Still, as we say, a long race left. Just over a third of the way through this event. The Stand Up to Cancer 500 at Talladega. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break once again, bring you guys back to the action at Talladega right after this. Back live here at Talladega, 30 of 66 complete, 3 laps away from the halfway point in this event, and Ryan Butcher now starting to be the chase spoiler here in that 83 car. He's put his way up into the top 5, fighting now Goforth on Jack Foster Jefferson. You got Lane sitting right back there, Gatlin Downey. All 10 of the chase contenders up here are still running in this front pack. The only 2 chase contenders not in this front pack are Dusty Neal, who was until his engine gave out, and Carter Friesen, who was held up by that Neal incident and is now outside of the top 15 in this running order. 4 wide, though. 4 wide up here. Lane, Foster bouncing off of each other. Butcher getting the heck out of Dodge in that 83 car as he goes very wide. Now Yepes throws it up the bottom, and you're really looking at this could be a TSR versus BGM event. With maybe SBR getting up there if Butcher, Edson, and Burkhardt can work together. But really, it's been TSR and BGM dominating this race. Morris and Yepes have both led for extended periods of time. Hagan has been your race leader for a bit. Jay Jefferson has a competitive enough 48 car. And Morris is going to use that same move again. I think he's really just trying to practice as much as he can to see how much momentum he's going to need if he could get into that position, come into the white flag. But now Hagan does beat him back, so now is that move really going to give you the win every single time? They're going to have to see if that will work like that. You see it's already 10 seconds back between Curtis and Friesen, but now Bowers and Curtis are starting to lose the draft a little bit. They're going to have to hope that they can hang on up front. That is your 18th and 19th place cars there, with this pack fighting each other back there in these 5 single file. There's the 36, though. Buttersworth and Mitchell, again, not being parked by the NSDCA just because they fell off the pace. As they come down this front straightaway, you see top speed, 196 for Mitchell. Archibald Buttersworth, 196 for that, so they clear minimum speed easily. Plus, once they get back into this pack, they're going to create a pause. It is 10 miles per hour difference, but they will be able to just work their way into the pack nicely, and they'll be able to run as a lap car in there. And much less at Talladega, lap cars play less of a factor if it's more them just falling back instead of damage, because they can just work their way into the pack and be another driver to help the draft. So that could help the outside line or the inside line, or it could hinder you. It just depends on how the lap cars run in the draft. But with them being that slow, we'll see if they get to the back of the pack, they might just fall back off once again, because these guys are the fastest group, the fastest 19 on the track as we run. We're going to notice this time you have it paused on that 11th to 20th on the ticker. We're going to see how far back that second pack really is falling a lap from race leader Morris, Hagan Yepes there. So there's 10.74 last time. Here comes Carter now. The field, these guys looking a bit more single file. 11.07. They still lost 0.3, so really they're just trying to hope and pray that they do not get lapped in this event or crash. But Maybe one of these guys will end up turning someone just to get them all back together, because it does suck when about 20 laps into the event, you know you're already out of this one. Cody Goforth, a bit slow there through the middle. Does not look like it's a mechanical failure. Must have been just a horrible run, as he's going to hold up a bit of that pack, and it's going to splinter this front pack a little bit. So now the top 5 getting out to a draft train out in front. There's that middle group. They haven't lost the draft of each other yet, but they got to watch now, because, as we've said, a front pack that can run on their own single file, they could absolutely pull away from the rest of that pack. So the top 19 now starting to splinter just a little bit. We'll see if they do indeed hang on. The top 5 stay in single file. On Jack has the draft of that front group, so that's bringing Downey, Jefferson in this pack up. Now Butcher, Eves, Stephen Wallace Jr., Edson, Cloud, that's all non-chase contenders. That's your underdogs right there. Could be losing the front draft now, as they all go single file pretty much, but they're trying to snake right behind Carson Bowers. Bowers and the rest of the field trying to leave this second pack, it seems. But we'll see if they can indeed hang on. Up in front, though, staying mostly single file. Now Lane and Foster going to look to the inside of Yepes and Hagan. That'll slow that pack down, that front group down just a little bit. That's going to bring on Jack back into the mix. Downey, Jefferson, Burkhardt, Goforth, Murray, Porta, and Bowers all still in that front draft. Now Butcher, Eves, they're going to catch up. And this actually makes it better for dealing with the 36 of Archibald Buttersworth and the 08 of Adam Mitchell. When they catch him, being single file or spread out will actually not hinder the race leaders that much, and they'll be able to possibly get that 36 just back into the pack very easily. So that could help them as they run. The top group now starting to get racy again. We'll see if that'll bring Butcher, Eves, Edson, Stephen Wallace Jr., Curtis, and Cloud back into the fray, or if they are just too far gone, as Bowers is also trying to hang on up there in that 25 car. We'll see if they can hang on. But we'll see. If not, this entire front pack will pretty much be chase contenders, and Colton Lane and Gatlin Downey, those two are the only ones not in the chase in this front pack, as all the rest of them are at the tail end of that. But you see they're mostly staying single file. Edson's going to abandon that idea, but staying single file is how you're going to catch up in the draft. And that's how you'll get all that momentum to catch back up and be in the fight at the end of this one. So they're not losing too much time. They just got to get together, form up nicely together, and hope that that front pack maybe races just a little bit more so they do not lose too much time. Morris has maintained the race lead over Lane, Foster, and Burkhardt right now, and Larry Hagan in 5th. Foster tucking out. Might have just been trying to get a little bit of air into the nose before they hit the corner. You got to worry about those temps. You saw Dusty Neal blew up. Riley Spurley too blew up. Kev Shearer blew up. It's hard to make sure that you have enough air in the car to make yourself continue on. Now, as this front pack catches Buttersworth, it's going to check him up just a little bit. 208 to 198, but now that's because Morris has the draft behind him and the draft in front of him. So now if they go down to 196 like they are with Buttersworth, that's going to bring that second group back in, who's probably running about 200 miles an hour the whole way around this race course, just like everyone else. And yeah, 203, 204 back there. Some of these guys running 202. They're all making the moves, but Buttersworth is going to be able to just work his way into the pack nice and neatly in that 36 car. And it's going to hold up that outside line a little bit. Yes, it will, but you see the speeds now. He's 198, 199. He's going to be in the pack nicely. He just has to hope he doesn't lose the draft to these guys either. And there's Adam Mitchell just further up ahead. And you see that does get Bowers, Butcher, they're back into the draft. They're hitting 206, 207. They got the sniff of those front guys in the draft, so that will bring that second group of drivers right back into the fight here. DJ Curtis just got to hope he does not fall too far back. And Logan Cloud as well, who is really starting to drop. There's Friesen. Antoine Smith, 21st. You remember TUP in the NSDCA is your top 20 in the Cup Series, at least for this season. It will be top 25 next year, but since the NSDCA, the Cup Series, does not have full 40-car fields each week, they did not want to expand it to that yet. But Antoine Smith right now 21st, so it means one driver in this pack will get 2 TUP for the team, and Antoine Smith knows JSR needs that big time, as well as KGM, even Digital back there as well with some SBR guys in that. There's that second group, so currently as they run, looks like Adam Mitchell will be the only other driver that these guys would end up catching. at the current rate. These guys are slow. They're dropping, but they're running 203, 204 compared to 194. And with now 26 laps to go this time by, we still got a long way left in this one. Now 3 wide for the race lead. Jefferson's going to make a move to the bottom of Hagan. Drag race to the line. Morris just gets beat out again, but now Jefferson on the inside. They're going to be 3 wide as Hagan pushes up. And now these front guys are racing once again. Jefferson a bit slower on the bottom. There, that inside line can lose some grip into turn number 1. We've seen that before in the NSDCA. Carter Friesen just gained 3/10 on these front guys, so wow, they're going to catch up real quick. But Logan Cloud in that 50 is almost a second behind Curtis. It looks like 9/10, and the draft is probably reaches back about a second. We'll say about a second, but running on your own with no one helping you behind you is definitely going to hinder you. Now, Hagan Morris, they're going to split Adam Mitchell. Mitchell is Larry Hagan's driver, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to help Hagan go on by as he goes to the bottom, holds up Morris, and Hagan is going to be your race leader here at Talladega. So now this could be a bigger pack now, the 36 and 08. They're slower cars, but they are not hindering drivers. They might mess with drivers trying to make moves here, but they have every right to be racing up here because they could always... The front guys could all crash each other. They make it on through. They're back on the lead lap. So, as we say, you know, lappers can be a pain in the NSDCA, but with the minimum speed requirement for the most part, of course, that will help them, and that will help try to fight some of the issues that you see with lappers holding up the pack. That's also why the NSDCA does not have them do pit stops on super speedways, and it is a very strict minimum speed requirement. At the super speedways, the NSDCA wants to see some great pack racing like we see right now. Morris, Burkhardt, Hagan, 3 wide across the line. Now Jefferson trying to get around Adam Mitchell. Man, I thought they almost made contact, and they might. You know how Jay hates his lap cars that get in his way, and he's fighting Mitchell right now for the 4th position in line, but Jay is 4th to himself. This second pack is formed back up. Logan Cloud trying desperately to hang on. He's now a second behind teammate DJ Curtis. Stephen Wallace Jr. trying to block every line he can. Archibald Buttersworth in the 36 still competitive in this front pack in that 36 car. But up in front, Burkhardt now to the inside of Morris. He gets the help from Hagan. Jefferson Lane lining up. Downey Yepes there as well. So as we're getting to the end of this race, we're getting to the second, third being crossed off here. And Friesen, again, he just gained another 4/10 on that front pack. There's definitely not enough time. If they're catching 4/10 a lap consistently, maybe. But you got to remember, they did get held up by some lap traffic. 2/10 gain there, so I don't think they're going to gain back, 11 seconds in this race. But they might be able to get back into striking distance at least. In case something does happen. But now Hagan to the bottom with Jefferson. They're fighting for this race lead over Burkhardt. And now you're looking at this point in the race. 22 laps to go. It's still a long way left. It's a very long way left in this event. But you still need to get into position. You got to start thinking, who's going to help you? Who's been helping you this race? Who is good in the draft? Who's been holding up the pack? Who's been screwing over these drivers? Because you see now, Goforth has not had a good few laps, and he's starting to splinter this front pack once again. They've got to hope he could stay with the draft, and Peter Onjak's back there as well in the 44. Jay Jefferson's throwing up a prayer that the 44 falls off the pace, but you got these guys still fighting back there trying to hang on to this front draft as Jefferson looks to the bottom. And now you're looking, who are your allies? Who are you helping? Who are you helping get to the front? Because the only way you're winning this race is if you're at the front at the end. And you got to time that move perfectly. You saw Jefferson. He was in front coming to the white flag. Got taken out. Well, not taken out, but moved out of line by Eli Bright and Riley Spurleytube. They went by, and then Spurleytube went by Bright. So you know there's 3 places on this track to get moves done. Into turn 1, into turn 3, and through the tri-oval. Because, again, at Talladega, the tri-oval is not where the finish line is. The finish line is past that. So you have that time through the tri-oval to use that inside line or that outside line to use momentum to get a last-ditch effort for a race win. So now you've got to think, what line's going to work for you? Who's going to work with you? You got TSR up in front, Hagan and Jefferson, who could easily just hand him away till the end and win this. That's how TSR won yesterday's race. You got Monster Motorsports' Colton Lane as the lone wolf up here. He does have the other Chevys of Murray and Goforth up there, but Cloud, Curtis just have not been in this front pack. Cloud's losing the draft. and Curtis has really not gained much. You got SBR and Matthew Eves all up in here. They are running very well. You got GDI with Gatlin Downey and Stephen Wallace Jr. both looking for the team's first Cup win. Looking for Downey's first ever win, and looking for Stephen Wallace Jr.'s first win in a very long time. They could even work together if they get together. Now you also got to think Adam Mitchell in that 08 is in this front pack. Matty Porta is too. That's your Sauber Racing Team drivers that could line up together if Mitchell can get up to Porta. But you also got Burkhart in the 99. Yepes and Morris in the Toyotas that have been dominating this race. Tib Foster and Anjado also up here. You got a lot of chances for drivers to be forming alliances, maybe not even with the same team. Maybe you got Lane, who's been pushing drivers this race. You got Yepes, Morris have been working together with the Toyotas. You got all the Dodges that could work together. There's a lot of ways that this end of the race can go, and you got to start making your allies very, very quickly. One car, it looked like, let me look, Cloud, yeah. Now Cloud has officially lost the draft. He's 2.5 seconds behind the front pack, so Cloud 19th is going to have to hang on, but that is money for teams back there like Digital, SBR, KGM, and JSR. They've been running at the front of this pack. They might be able to pick up a bonus, an extra TUP or two. You got a lot of drivers in this one. It's been side-by-side up in front with the TSR guys. Jefferson, Burkhart, Yepes, Foster, and Goforth pushing that outside line as the inside's trying to hang on together, and they keep splintering up. You got 2 and 3 wide racing. Now Foster forced out of there. Murray almost in the back of Downey. They could be about 4 wide there. Very close between them. Porta's going to let Murray back in line, though. And now the momentum shifts again inside this pack. But you got hungry drivers, hungry race fans, and hungry teams looking for a win at Talladega. Hagan versus Jefferson has been the fight out in front for the last few laps, and they are still maintaining side-by-side. Lane's going to lose a lot of time there as Burkhart and Yepes get a powerful run off the corner. Hagan and Jefferson side-by-side for TSR out in front. We're going to take one more commercial break and bring you guys back to the action here at Talladega as this race comes to the close. The Stand Up to Cancer 500 at Talladega. We'll be back right after this. This time by will be at 15 laps to go. The race has gone green this entire way. Hagan, Yepes out in front. Morris second. Burkhart third. Jefferson fourth. Murray in fifth. Downey sixth. Stephen Wallace Jr. seventh. Eighth, Cody Goforth. Ninth, Matty Porta. 10th, Colton Lane. We're getting to the end of this. TSR has been out in front for the last about 20 laps combined between Hagan and Jefferson. Jefferson finally lost that outside line as Yepes and Burkhart made the move on him. But now Morris back up here. BGM looking for Morris's third win on the year if he can get to the front. You got Austin Murray, Cody Goforth, the Chevy starting to line up on that inside line. If they can get Lane with them, they might be able to make something work. Here comes the 55, though. Morris to the bottom for BGM against the TSR Dodge. And it looks like it's going to be short work there. New race leader, Brandon Morris in the Valvoline 55 to the point. But he has Jefferson and Burkhart pushing him. Murray, Goforth, all in this fight. With just 14 laps to go this time by. Who's going to win it as Jefferson makes a move to the bottom in the 48 car. 19 cars under a blanket up front with 2 lappers at the back. We still have a long way to go as Burkhart now. 3 wide for the race lead. 3 wide for the 4th position. Now Burkhart not going to wait around. He wants the lead in that 99 Xfinity Toyota. You see the cars at the back. Bowers, Eves, Onjak, Edson, now single file at the back. Maybe they're just trying to bide their time. You also got Butcher Curtis now trying to hang on even to this front pack. Logan Cloud is out of it. He's now into that second pack pretty much. There's that third pack right there, but there's Cloud. He's going to get passed by Friesen, Nicky Morris, Eli Bright. They're going to freight train him, but he'll be able to get back into the pack and fight for a top 21 run for Monster Motorsports. 18 cars left up front, but 2 starting to lose the draft. That's Ryan Butcher and DJ Curtis. Can they hang on? Now, as Archibald Buttersworth, Adam Mitchell, they're losing the draft as well, and they're holding Curtis up. Curtis has the faster car, but the outside line just does not have anything when you're alone. And now it looks like Ryan Butcher could be losing the front draft and losing his chance at a race victory. Now, Morris all over the back of Burkhart. Will he make a move? Murray in third. Will he make a move in that 91 car? Here comes Morris back to the bottom. Not going to play favorites here for Toyota. He wants to go up here and win this. He wants to win the title. You got Yepes in fourth. Gatlin Downey bringing that 35 car back up here. The only thing is, guys like Murray, Downey, Goforth, Porta, Stephen Wallace Jr., even Tib Foster, Peter Onjak, They have not been able to get up front and lead laps. They have not had the cars to get up to the front and lead laps. And now Murray's in second, Downey's in fifth. Do they have the equipment underneath them to make these moves on the 55, 99, 77, 48, and 21 who've been dominating this race outright? You see Butcher pulling away from Curtis. Now Curtis has those lappers behind him. We're going to look back up front. Mac Johnson slow on the apron, a flat tire for the 95 car. Just because the fuel can last doesn't mean the tires are safe. There's very low tire wear. Goodyear makes a great tire for Talladega and Daytona that can withstand these fast speeds for long periods of time, but they can still blow out. Mac Johnson for Monster Motorsports, his chance over there at getting pretty much any good finish. He's going to be the last car probably on track in this race. So there's a 4-car pack right there with Joseph Sergele at the back. They are entering turn 3. These guys entering turn 1. Currently, as that sits, there's no lappers left in the fight. Wherever Mac Johnson comes out at in the 95 car, that'll determine if these guys will have a lap, another lapper to deal with, because the 36 and 08 are now at the back of that one with DJ Curtis, and Curtis has pretty much fallen off of the pace. So now we'll see. Coming down, 10 to go at Talladega this time by. Remember, green-white checkers can happen in the Cup Series. We'll see if they do at Dega. Yepes in second, Jefferson up to third, Downey fourth, Foster fifth. Here they come charging with their late race run, but Jefferson's going to break up the BGM boys. He's going to go for that second position in the 48. He wants to win at Talladega here and sweep the weekend for TSR. Now Gatlin Downey, here comes GDI's 35. Can Downey steal a race victory here at Daytona, Talladega? Butcher is back in the pack. That means we got 18 cars to settle it. There is Mac Johnson coming down the back straightaway. He's entering turn 3. These guys are going to be entering turn 3 very shortly right there. So they're going to catch Mac. The question is when. Mac is also not off the pace. It's going to take him a lap or two to get up to the full song of 196, 197, but he is still on the pace. He is not a damaged car. He just had that flat tire. He nursed it back around. This front pack is all lead lap drivers with Curtis, Buttersworth, and Mitchell, the 2 lappers at the back of that one, falling away. We got 18 cars to decide it here, 17 cars to decide it here at Talladega. Inside line breaks up again. That brings Foster and Murray on the outside. They're going to power off the corner, and that's going to get it kind of single-filed up front. Jefferson, though, is not going to waste time. You saw the gap Morris had down the back last time. He's been the only one to get out to that big of a race lead, but it does not help as Jefferson, Yepes, Foster, Murray, Downey, they're going to line up behind him and blow right by the 55. Morris now back to third. Foster getting back up in this. There you see Mac running at 194, 196 at the end. He's running minimum speed, so he is good, but he will be in this front pack to end this. Jefferson just hoping he's not screwed over by a lap car again. Now this front pack's starting to break up and kind of get single file. Maybe they're going to try to bide their time. They lost a bit of time there. So now they got to form back up. They got to take a lap or two, form back up, make sure you don't lose the draft. This whole front group, single file coming off of the corner. Now they're going to have to work their way past Mac Johnson. And Foster's going to get aggressive. He hasn't been up front this whole race. He's trying to bide his time. There is Mac in that 95. He's going to go to the bottom. Jefferson cuts off Diego, trying to make that move. Now Foster with the momentum to the bottom. That's going to bring Downey and Morris in this. That's going to just really clamps this whole front pack together as the front guys get held up. And now here comes Downey. Gatlin Downey for the race lead in the closing laps. Here he comes looking for his first win. Foster's going to lead that lap, but Downey is there in the 35 car. Now Morris shoved 4 wide with Yepes. Jefferson, they make contact. Diego, what a save by Yepes as they go 4 wide, and they bang each other's doors off coming through 1 and 2. Now they're 4 wide again. On Jack on the inside. Down the back straightaway they go. Burkhardt up the middle. Yepes trying to make a move on lane. What is going to happen as they head down into turn 3? Burkhardt and Yepes pretty much just touching each other's doors there. They settle it 3 wide. There they go. But now Gatlin Downey in the 35. Did he make the move too early? He used Mac Johnson as the pick, and now Mac is in this fight with better tires. That might even give him more grip to stay up front. But now, Downey to the outside. Morris is going to look to the bottom with help from the 95. Across the line, Downey leads that lap, but we still have 6 laps to go. And here they come now. What does Mac do? Mac holds up the inside line, and he has teammate Colton Lane right behind him. I don't think Lane's going to be too happy with that. But now Downey in second. He's in fighting distance. He has a car to beat. He could have a car to beat, but the 55 has been fast all race long. Does Morris have the shot at the race win? Goforth clears into fourth. Yepes now trying to clear Mac for fifth. That's his driver. Get out of the way of Team Boss because you don't want to be the one costing him. Bowers now starting to lose the draft just a little bit. Stephen Wallace Jr., Matthew Eves have not been in this fight this entire time. Neither is Butcher. I don't think they're going to have the cars underneath them. But here comes Foster. Cody Goforth in the 27. Even if he doesn't win this race, he's not gotten a top 5 in the Cup Series yet this season. He's trying to do it today. He's now fighting fourth and looking for third on Downey as they go. Morris and Foster out in front. Can Foster sweep the super speedways? Now Mac Johnson holding up Jefferson, and that's going to lose Jefferson a spot to Onjack possibly. You know how Jay hates lappers getting in his way. Mac might be sent flying here shortly as this race progresses. Cody Goforth now making the move. He has Yepes behind him. Will Diego try to get up there and help him? No. Downey throws the block on him, loses Diego some time. That's going to bring Lane and Burkhart to the outside line. Top 7 have cleared Mac Johnson. The rest of the field fighting right behind him. Now Goforth in second. Does he have the car to get up and pass Morris? He hasn't this whole race. He hasn't been up front in this fight this whole race. He's been in the front pack, but just silently waiting. Foster went down with him, but he's going to not go with him up. And that's going to be the Dodgers to the inside teaming up. Look at Burkhart. Burkhart could still win this one. Morris out in front. Yepes there. Jefferson now just has to hope that Onjack cannot get ahead of him, and at least Jefferson finishes a spot or two ahead of Peter to gain back a little bit of points. Hagan has dropped back. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get up there and win this race. But Morris, your race leader. Foster second. Downey third. Goforth now. His train. They train to the inside of him, and he's out of the top 5 now and dropping. The Chevys sitting just outside the top 5 there as you see him fight. Murray now to the inside of lane. They're 3 wide for the 6th position. Goforth back to 8th. Jefferson still trying to hang on and get around Mac Johnson. But up in front, the top 5 single file. They're going to team up on him. There they go. But no, Downey wanted to go all the way. Foster, though, gets the momentum. 3 laps to go with Dega. Here comes Tib Foster to the race lead. The super speedway ace this season is getting pushed to the front by Gatlin Downey. Still 17 cars left to decide this. Mac Johnson in the midst of it. Again, he has every right to be racing. He can draft. He can be part of the draft. But Jefferson not happy with him as it's holding him up from staying ahead and getting around Peter Onjack. 2 laps to go this time by. Tib Foster. This is the closest that Eves and Foster have to a hometown track, being from Mississippi. And they have the crowd here. The fans on their feet. 2 to go at Talladega. The Dodgers versus the Toyotas for the race win. Morris with the push from Burkhart. Does he have enough to hang on out in front? And he's trying to clear. He tried to clear. It's not going to happen that time. Yepes now works the outside line. Downey, Murray, Goforth on the bottom. Will they have enough to push Foster? They are nowhere near him as Burkhart's going to give Morris the shot down the back straightaway. Downey does not get a good exit. They swamp him, and that's going to take Downey out of this one. Look at Jefferson, been working that outside line this whole time in that 48 car, and still hanging on strong. Now with Onjack in the 3rd line. But Morris, your race leader, coming around. It's going to be 1 to go this time by. The white flag is flying at Talladega for Brandon Morris in the 55. They're side by side behind him. Can Burkhart get up there in the 99 and steal this one away from the field? Down the front straightaway they go. Now Downey, Goforth trying to get back into this. Burkhart, does he have any momentum? Does he have enough time to get a run on Morris down the back? It was a last lap pass that decided the truck race, and now Burkhart looks low. Does he have the momentum? Yes, he does. He's pulling alongside Morris. Looking to go from last to first in the 99 car. Downey, Foster fighting behind. Goforth looking for that top 5 finish. Jefferson looking to stay ahead of Edson. Or Onjack. But coming through 4, Burkhart to the race lead. He's going to time it perfectly. Cody Goforth in the 27. Where does he go? Looking for his first top 5 on the year. It's not going to happen. The final lap pass by Brady Burkhart. 39th to 1st. He wins at Talladega. Curtis comes home 19th, and it's going to be Monster Motorsports and ZR taking home the top 20 as they come across the line. The underdogs couldn't top them. Logan Cloud dropped back. Yellow flags flying, but the race is over, so there's no green, white checkered there. But Burkhart with a last lap move on Morris. Down the back, takes it. Cody Goforth, first top 5 on the season. He comes home 3rd. Gatlin Downey, first top 5 in a long time. He comes home 4th. And Jay Jefferson 5th with Onjack falling to 13th. That's almost exactly what happened in the truck race. So Jefferson's going to gain about 10 points on Peter right there. So that puts Jay back into the title fight. Burkhart, it's going to gain him some good points. He's up now. That's going to gain him about 15 points back to 1 race. Cody Goforth, 67 back. I don't think that's enough to really get him back into the fight. Foster's going to get back into the mix. Murray, probably not, but Yepes will be. So this race gains a few drivers some big points. Friesen and Porta out of the championship fight now. Porta's going to be about 114 back. So that's not going to be good. Friesen loses too much. Murray, it was a good fight, but I don't think that's going to be enough gained to get him back into that. So that's probably 3 drivers eliminated there. Cody Goforth probably not going to be close enough, but we'll see. We'll see what'll happen when the points come up. Dusty Neal, championship over. 38th is going to lose him a ton of time to Onjack, Jefferson, and Morris, really. So, another exciting race and green flag for 66 laps. Heartbreaking for that second pack. They were preying on a caution, did not happen, and they were not able to come back and put themselves close to a race win. But we had a very sizable pack of pretty much 17 drivers at the end fighting for it. And it is Burkhart, last to first to the win. Fans are going to get those tinfoil hats on. He fails inspection and goes to the race win at Talladega anyway. Don't know what that was, but he did pass inspection to make the race. Can't blame that. An exciting race here for the Stand Up to Cancer 500 at Talladega ends with a SBR victory. The chase is on. 3 races left. Iowa, Charlotte, Kansas. The trucks have the 2 races at Iowa and Kansas, same with Mountain Dew Custom Series. We're excited to bring you the final races of Season 6 of the NSDCA. Very fast race there. A long one with 66 laps covered in just under an hour. Thank you guys so much for watching the Sundrop Cup Series. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.